So I've been having lots of, conversations with my friends and parents and various people in my life about, AI. That is, of course, the talk of the town these days. I am on the camp of embracing AI. I don't think it's one of those things where we should be running away from it, avoiding it. I have friends who are like, I avoid AI. I don't touch it. I don't get it. I don't want to do anything with it, which I respect. I totally understand. But for me, I am a firm advocate of AI because to me, it's the same thing as when the internet came out, in the 2000s. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember that. Yikes. But yeah, so remember when the internet first came out, and there are people who are like, don't go, don't use it, don't go on there, it's dangerous. I was just talking to my social media guy who's on the other side of this camera, and he's saying like, Vic here was telling me, reminding me of the comment saying like, yeah, back then, we are not supposed to talk to strangers on the internet, and don't get in a car with strangers on the internet, and now we call an Uber and get on a car with a stranger from the internet, and we pay them to do this. So, things have changed and obviously came a long way. Of course, there are safety precautions that we do take, and, these companies do enforce. So it makes it safer to do so. And obviously, back then I probably wouldn't have done it, but now we can. And that is where we as human beings come into play. And why do you think, why am I talking about this? I am the founder of PopRock Academy, a performing arts academy. Why is this relevant to the performing arts? It's because I think, you know, we as human beings, our most valuable asset is not our intelligence, but rather our creativity. AI is really, really, really smart. It knows everything, right? It has access to practically everything that has ever been done. But what it doesn't have is creativity. It can't make a real decision. It can make decisions based on logic or like based on its algorithm and what it comes, what it processes as the most probable, desirable result. But is it really the best result? Not really. I've had extensive, like countless hours of conversation. I was literally, again, having this conversation with Vic here, just earlier right now. That's why I decided to do this topic because we were just talking about this casually. And, I've like spent hours, like there were months where I would be like every night after my whole family goes to bed, I would be there talking to ChatGPT about life and philosophy and everything, understanding what it can and cannot do. And I've learned a lot about AI and what ChatGPT, and other AIs can do and what the limitations are. And my conclusion really is it really cannot be creative. It can give you information. It can give you what it thinks is the best result, best version, best uh, probable a way to resolve a problem that you have. If I have like, oh, I have this issue, and I would ask ChatGPT, and it will give me a possible answer. Usually it gives me three or four options, but in the end, it can't make those decisions for you. You have to make it yourself, and then you also have to adjust those, suggestions or recommendations, and make fine-tune adjustments to make it perfect, exactly to fit what you need. Now, of course, AI will get better and better and even more precise. And the more I've been talked to AI, the better those results are. But still, nonetheless, at the very end, it cannot make creative decisions and it cannot make creative judgments as well. You know, if you're trying to tell it to write you a script, sure, it can churn out a decently good script, but it doesn't know how to be creative. It doesn't know how to take risks. And we all know the best scripts, the best ideas come from taking risks. And AI doesn't take risks because it's not risky for them. There's no risk. They have no stake in it. It doesn't cost them money to come up with a new invention or a new idea, whatever it is, because they have no real world, physical world stakes at any of the results of what they're doing. Well, for the most part. So our job as parents, as educators of the new generation, I firmly believe, is to help our children become more creative. give them the power to be creative, because that is our superpower. And even if you're not interested, or your kid's not interested in acting and dancing and music, educating them in those arenas will set them miles ahead of everyone else, because you're nurturing the creative side of their brains from an early age. So please, please, I beg you, if it's not acting, dance, or music, it could be anything else that's creative. Please invest just as much as you invest in the academic side of your children learning, children's education. Invest in the creative side of their learning, of their education, because it is so vital for them to actually, succeed in the future. I firmly believe that, and AI is here to stay. You really cannot outsmart, be smarter than an AI. You can outsmart it, but you cannot be smarter on the traditional sense than AI, because it has literally access to everything in the world. So help your children get ahead by helping them be creative. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe and like this video. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And I'm going to actually follow up with another video right after this about how you and your children can use AI to become more creative and produce more creative things, and how you can work with it. I've done a lot of that with my AI, programs, ChatGPT and other AI programs that I've used. And I'll share some of those insights and how you can, use those things to help you become more productive in a creative manner. All right, until next time.